Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Gabor. He is my partner in crime, Zoltan, and we are Strategic Impact. And this is our first podcast about Web3. Uh, we are dreaming very long time ago about this podcast, and it came with a lot of preparation, but finally we are here. And our goal is to create a podcast show 2 or 3 times a week, 15 or 20 minutes, and talk about relevant things, what's happening in this Web3 space. And in this first episode, we would like to talk about the NFTs. And later on, as we go forward with the episodes, we would like to describe for you how to launch an NFT, what are the common mistakes that can be made during a launch, and how to build a strategy for that. Will be really, really interesting things. So we should start with a short introduction. Would you like to start, Zoli?
Yeah, of course. So, hi all, my name is Zoltan, and I'm a very technical person. I've got my first computer at the age of 12, if I remember correctly, and instantly fell in love with all the possibilities that it could open up. After 2 weeks of enjoying some of the most amazing games of the mid-90s, I asked the most important questions of my future life. How can I write my own programs on my PC? I remember making a small directory and I was like, yeah, I'm coding. Of course, it was very far from the truth, but it really started a journey that resulted in a 17 plus year long career in digital product engineering and digital products building. During my career, I had the privilege to work with some incredible companies, brands such as Microsoft, Vogue, Improbable, Fox. I spent 6 years in London, deeply embedded in the startup space. I have worked in the Southeast Asia region, building digital banks. I managed to travel the world with McKinsey, working on some incredible project with some incredible clients. I've seen a lot of success and I've seen a lot of failures, and I really hope that I learned a lot along the ways. I've focused on building highly skilled and effective teams, delivery processes, design scalable and reliable system architectures that resulted in my clients' business successes. So I'm quite proud of that. My passion for technology never subdued until today. I love coding, but I also developed a newfound love for teaching, mentoring, and knowledge sharing. And this is why I'm extremely excited to be part of this podcast. So that's me.
Sounds great. And so I also owe you an introduction. From my side, I also remember those times that Zoli talking about. It was 30-something years ago when I was a young kid and started to play with computers, and my mother told me every evening, yeah, stop playing with that stupid computer. You cannot live from these stupid things. And see what happened? I'm living from these stupid things.
Yeah. You proved her wrong.
Yeah, this happened, but now she's proud of me. But I also started as a programmer, but after a few years, I realized I can create even more values for the teams and the organizations I'm working for if I change the flow of the things, and I'm becoming the bridge between the technical parts and the business side, and I'm translating between those sides, and I'm always telling I'm doing my work really well if these two sides understand each other very well. And during the years, I became a management consultant as well. I'm building teams. I am helping to build effective organizations and operations as well, and helping with the product strategy. And my goal was always to really create great products. So that's me, just the short version. But in the next few episodes, I will tell even more about myself and the stuff I'm doing. But what's important here, 2 years ago, Zoltan and I just started a company which called Strategic Impact, and we are doing some consultation projects. And in the past 1 year, we worked a lot on blockchains, smart contracts, Web3. We love this word very much, and we decided to create a division for Web3 in our company, and we are putting more and more effort into this new world. And with this podcast, we want to share the knowledge we collected in the past year. Hope you will enjoy it. For today's episode, I have a very interesting topic here, because when I'm talking with my friends, everybody thinks that NFTs are just art, JPEGs or GIFs, and that's all. And in this episode, we would like to show there is a huge world around this, and lots of other things can be made with NFTs. Many people working on super interesting projects, and they deserve it to be recognized. And we want to show them, or a small fraction of them, because 20 minutes. This is our duration. We cannot talk about everybody. Sorry about that, but I think we can talk about a lot of things, because many industries are started to experiment with NFTs. The retail, the ticketing, the service industry, the legal, education, customer service, content leadership, activism, borrow platforms, and vertical marketplaces. It's even hard to list all of these things. And before we jump in, let's just talk a little bit. What are NFTs? NFTs are special because when we are talking about usual tokens, these are just tokens. These are exchangeable. If I have one BTC and Zoltan has BTC, we can exchange it. It will be the same. But NFTs are non-fungible tokens are not, because all of them are unique. If I have one Bored Ape NFT and Zoltan has some random NFT and we exchange it, Zoltan will be happy. I'm sad. And
I will definitely be happy.
I don't have a Bored Ape, at least not yet. But if you have one, I would be happy to exchange with you. No, and there is a special another kind of NFT, which is the non-transferable tokens. And the transfer word is really, really important here, because it's not transferable. And it is super important if you want to build a feature like digital identity, because you don't want to transfer your digital identity for someone else. That wouldn't be cool, isn't it?
Yeah, any certificates, any identity-based documents, driving licenses, or any activity that is measured and tracked to your personal identity, and maybe you get rewarded based on that, has to be an entity.
Yes, of course it is. What if we jump in one of our topics? I love what's happening in the retail space. Let's just talk a little bit about that. I think one of the first movers was Taco Bell. Do you remember that project?
Yeah. They minted, I think like 25. I don't exactly remember the number, NFTs, and it pretty much all went to charity. But it was very interesting because they were one of the first movers. They tried to dabble with where NFTs can actually take them. They didn't really go beyond the normal let's do a bit of art and let's do a bit of charity model, but they were very first. They were very early in this space when it comes to retail.
Yeah, but there are always first movers. I think Coca-Cola made a step forward a very interesting way, because they are not just offering you some big digital stuffs. They created an NFT and they created a package for this NFT. So you get an interesting jacket for your avatar in Decentraland, and you get a physical stuff. Do you remember that stuff, that loot box?
Yeah. Yeah, they were definitely an interesting concept. However, for me, the real breaking point into realizing the potential was actually the Adidas release. Because Adidas already promoted their own NFT release with future potential. So they were talking about physical merch drops. They were working about various collaborations. They were talking about being in the metaverse. They were talking about building, bringing their brand and identity into metaverse. They have released actually a huge collection, and every single one of their tokens was pretty much the same. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if we are talking about like 9,000 or 10,000 items or something,
Yeah.
along those lines.
Yeah, something like that.
And there were no differences. Yeah, there were no differences between the NFTs, so they all do the same. But as you know, time goes forward, they will drop like various various physical merch items. They have partnered with, for example, Basie for the launch. They will have these beanies. They will have these yellow jackets, Adidas yellow jackets, and in the meantime, they have also built up some other collaborations with other brands. For example, Prada, where they have already done their first collaborative release with another collaborated with another artist as well, Zach Lieberman, and the holders, the NFT holders, the into the metaverse Adidas NFT holders were the first ones to actually have access to that NFT release. So they have taken a step further than other brands who are just like a one-time charity. Here we are interested in this space. They are really taking it seriously, and we are talking about, by the way, a huge industry here, right? And Adidas is, I believe, is second, third, maybe fourth largest, most valuable brand in the US or something like that. So yeah, it is a very exciting move that they have done there.
Yeah, and they actually released 30,000 NFTs in this campaign, and this was very interesting strategy because they reserved 20,000 for early access. They created a FOMO around this, so they build up very logically this whole campaign. Only 9,000 was about the general sale, and a couple of hundred was reserved for partners, considering the future events and possibilities. And this is really interesting in Adidas. It's not just one-time event. It doesn't end here with just these few things. You should imagine this as a membership program for a longer term. And this is why it's worth a lot, because it doesn't end with just one campaign. On the longer run, for months and years, 100%. They will release another stuffs here.
100%. It's not a one-time drop and one-time value, and they were very vocal about it. That this is going to be your membership. You are going to be the OG holders here, and you will get various benefits. And it is very much reflecting on the price as well. The minting was at 0.2, if I remember correctly, at 0.2 Ethereum, and right now the price is above 1 Ethereum. And the price never really fluctuated that much. In the last couple of, if you compare it with like any other NFT releases, NFT collections out there, the price is just going like haywire. Like Gucci went to 17, then dropped to 9, and it just goes
like a real roller coaster.
But it's a real roller coaster. But with the Adidas NFT, where they were very vocal about building this relationship with the audience and you being part of this journey, and you will have continuous benefits being part of this club. The price is actually quite stable, and it's not really dropping. Even with the current NFT bear market that is happening right now, it is still up there.
Yes, indeed, it is. And I think they were really trailblazers here. The other interesting project I really like from retail is Gucci. Gucci is tricky because they are also connecting it with a membership club, and they opened a flagship store for this. That one called Vault, and they are putting all of these experiences together, and they want to create something exceptional here. So they are really experimenting with this. They are using the old techniques, but it also has a taste of like you are in the laboratory.
Yeah, absolutely. They paired the digital experience with also a physical drop. So the Gucci holders actually got like a physical Gucci statue with like Gucci motifs on it, and the drop was insane. The amount of interest it generated was insane, and the getting price also was quite insane. I think it was like 1.5 Ethereum, and people just wanted to get on that train.
Yeah, and they wanted to make it exclusive because they only released like 200 NFTs. That's not much if you compare it with Adidas with the 30,000.
Yeah, they played a different game here for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, but of course, Gucci is an exclusive brand and they want to be remain this way. And
Yeah,
this is just
100%.
the start, I think, for the whole retail industry. So I think these projects are proof of concepts. They are just experimenting it. But I'm pretty sure these kind of business persons will realize that, okay, it's not just a promising technology, but it will democratize some part of the retail, and it can create reward programs and membership programs for their users. So I pretty much expect many new things from the retailers, and they will somehow blend the meta world and the in real life transactions and leverage all of these creators, and they will try to drive traffic to their storefronts or their online stores, and these are just the big brands. I'm pretty sure somehow pretty soon we will see some similar things from 7-Eleven or Tesco or Aldi or all of these other things.
Yeah, at some point everybody's gonna jump on the train. I think one really notable event here was Nike's move to acquire Artifact Studios, who are the creators of the quite infamous Clone X collection, the 3D avatars for Metaverse, and they take it to to that extent that even when Nike announced the actual acquisition, you could see the Nike brands appear with the Nike logo, and the Artifact Studios logo, that little thunder, appeared right next to the Nike tick, right?
Yeah.
And that actually tells you something, right? That Nike is taking this seriously, and they are upping their game big time.
Yes, of course, of course. They invested a lot to buying Artifact. So I'm pretty sure I expect some really special things here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main takeaway here from just looking at what is happening in the retail industry is that we are way beyond art. It's probably a topic for a different discussion, but actually, personally, I think that NFTs. Why I have to completely admit and bow down and say that artists and art itself has been the catalyst to bring NFTs to this level of popularity, and just put it on the on the map. Probably art for me is where NFTs are actually lacking a little bit because of various infrastructural concerns. But right now we are definitely moving into the digital asset concept of NFTs, and this is where retail service providers, you mentioned digital identities, legal, or any
Ticket
of these
industry, for
industries,
example.
ticketing industries. Exactly, ticketing industries. All of these will have a very strong potential now, because they are going to be building on the digital asset, digital ownership aspect of the NFT technologies, and not necessarily on the art part.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, ticketing industry, I would like to talk about a little bit because some really interesting things happening there. A couple of months
Oh
ago,
yeah, that's right. Now it's on fire.
it
It's on
is,
fire.
it is. A couple of months ago, Mark Cuban, he's a very well-known investor and the owner of the Dallas Mavericks basketball club team, and he's also experimenting on these things. He's also investing very heavily into this industry, and they want to somehow create some NFTs as extending the experience during the matches. They want to create tokens for fans, and they want to connect game highlights, and they want to connect real world data on the basketball games. Really, really interesting things are happening in this space, and this is still really early. They are just doing the first experimenting, but it will turn out really interesting. They will use geotagging. They will use some other interesting technologies. They will have many data to join all of these things into this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on top of the story that you were mentioning, like NBA tickets or ticket stubs, or capturing the moment, there is basically like infinite value that you can figure out on top of this NFT membership or NFT ownership that you can provide to your fans, to your audience. You can go completely crazy, and you can say, the NBA or NFL moments, like or just auction the rights to the video to an NFT holder, which could also result not just in a very prestigious collectible, but it could also result in very interesting royalty fees that could become like a passive income for the rest of your
Of
life.
course, of course.
Um,
Did you heard that Tom Brady retired from NFL? And did you
yeah.
heard
It's
that?
a big moment it's a sad moment for the sport, but
Yeah.
it was a big
For,
moment.
for the moment, I'm not sure he's really retired. He may coming back, but his last NFL touchdown will be auctioned, and probably it will worth $1 million. Just one moment.
And yeah, and honestly, it might worth much more, right? Because as we have just popped some ideas around here, that video could just be something that you hang on the virtual wall of your villa in Decentraland and show it off. It could be that, or it could be something that will be used in Netflix TV shows, documentaries. It will be used maybe in cinema. It will be used maybe in various news or sports segments. But you own the right to that video clip,
Of course, of course.
right? And that could make it significantly more valuable than $1 million. So
Yes.
it's hard to say at this very moment.
That's why I think NBA had a huge move with Top Shots. That was a really wise using of that IP. It's not really about ticketing, or at least not yet, but I'm pretty sure at some point they will merge these experiences and tickets. Tickets doesn't need to be boring. It doesn't need to be paper. I think with all of these digital capabilities, it can be much more sexier. Can't wait for.
Yeah, 100%. Like NFL has been experimenting this with NFL stubs, like complimentary tickets, complimentary NFTs to your tickets throughout the season and during the Super Bowl as well. And it seems that they have a very high, I wouldn't say just demand, but I would say like a really high appreciation from the community for these items, because collectibles have always been a big part of people's lives. It doesn't matter what we are talking about. Even even in music, you used to walk into a record shop and find that record from from the music. You don't do that anymore for streaming. But collectibles have always been a quite important part of our lives, and this kind of brings it back. It doesn't even necessarily have to have some kind of an attached value. Even the collectible aspect of those, those ticket stubs have been quite interesting for the fans.
Yes, yes, yes. And NFL is betting big, huge time on
Oh,
NFTs. So you probably heard that every fan who attended on Super Bowl received one of these NFTs with their unique section and row and seat and all of these stuffs are also combined into these tickets. And this is only the start. I seen the Super Bowl, and every year when we are talking about Super Bowls, we are also talking about the commercials that can be seen during the games. And this year, the main topics was crypto and NFTs and all of these experiences. Many companies are advertised themselves here, so it's getting huge because
yeah,
as far as I know.
a lot of money were spent there to to put them on the map for sure.
Yes, of course. And it's a huge pile of money because, as far as I know, advertising during the Super Bowl, it's coming for a short fortune.
Yeah.
Not a smaller fortune, it's a significant fortune.
Yeah. But yeah, the entire industry is trying to make a move ahead of their own competition. Coinbase needs to put itself in the minds of all the NFL fans, because Coinbase is also opening their own NFT marketplace. That's super important for Coinbase to have a widespread user base. It can't be just OpenSea, right? So these companies really need to make their voices heard and their brands to be recognized.
Yes, yes. And you probably heard the boomer from Coinbase. So they had an advertisement, a campaign during the Super Bowl, and their servers just crashed from the traffic. They didn't expect it, this interest they get, or they just
Yeah,
underscaled.
and I'm pretty sure that they have appreciated some level of interest. So I'm sure that technically they have prepared to a certain level of interest. Now imagine what level of interest they must have received to actually crash their server.
Probably a huge amount of interest because
Yeah,
you know this Super Bowl was a record from popularity point of view. Uh, Almost 120 million people watched the show. That's third of the U.S. population.
right.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot of
And
people.
I'm think that this was a huge time for crypto. So yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, yeah.
Sports, ticketing, um, anything related to sports and events, to be honest, is a huge deal for NFTs, or NFTs are a huge deal for these industries. It's enough to look at what's happening in the music space as well. Within the concept of ticketings and NFTs and building up these membership and these concepts. Steve Aoki opening his own metaverse. Snoop Dogg being super heavily interested and invested in this space. So yeah, the NFTs are going beyond that JPEGs, as you said, and moving into the digital asset, digital ownership, digital membership direction, which is going to be huge for the
Yeah, yeah,
space.
yeah. I just want an NFT from Snoop Dogg while he's smoking weed during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Well, you can definitely buy a land next to Snoop Dogg's villa in Sandbox if you want, and you can virtually smoke a joint there.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you need to be a high roller to do that.
Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the music industry doesn't started really to do much thing with NFTs, but they are doing many great things in the metaverse land. Travis Scott had some really great concert there, which enjoyed by tens of millions, and Justin Bieber is coming soon. It's something similar, and I wouldn't be surprised if the ticket will be an NFT for these kind of events.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I think this is you touched on a very interesting topic. We actually haven't talked about it until now. We were talking about mostly IRL and NFTs, but the real convergence and the real power will be actually born with metaverse integrations and virtual experiences. Like you could argue whether Fortnite is currently a metaverse or not, right? Um, and having a concert there by a prestigious artist and having, let's say, an NFT memorabilia or an NFT access pass to attend that that concert, or just have like a proof of attendance on it, could be quite valuable and a quite exciting use case.
Yeah, indeed it is. I think many great things are coming into this industry. So, but unfortunately, we just arrived to the end of our first episode. We hope,
There is so much else to talk about.
yeah, we hope you enjoy this. And in the next few days, we are coming with the next episodes, and we will give you an overview about how you can launch an NFT, your own collections, for examples. We will talk about the common mistakes that some projects are making, and we will dive deep how you should do that and how not to repeat these mistakes. I think we can help you a lot to make it the right way. Sounds cool, isn't it?
Try save a lot of money, and try save a lot of money not making that mistakes.
Yes, I think that's really important because on the gas fees you can burn a huge pile of money, and even big players did that. So, but we will talk about this in the next episode. So, if you are interested in these topics, please subscribe and follow us on Twitter, and you can find the links in the description right below. Thank you for watching us. Have a nice day. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.